All right, everybody, just some quick news for you here. And it's honestly the perfect news for the Texans right now, who have gotten a lot of good news. Let's be honest with that. But and I'll share this screen with you really quick. And on it, you can kind of see a couple of things. But Will Klunkel of Fox says Texans wide receiver Nico Collins tells me he will play Sunday versus the Arizona Cardinals. Now, hey, as you can see here, we got our Sports Talk Detroit going, and that's our Twitter account for Sports Talk Detroit, which is where this channel started. It started with Sports Talk Detroit. As you can see, we're Lions fans, but we love teams that the NFL kind of overlooks and the national media overlooks. And so in this channel, that's what you see a lot of. And we do a ton of Texans content here. And it's been a fun team to watch. And this love for us, if you go back on our Texans playlist, you can see us talking about how this team could have a solid season way before it started having a solid season. It all surrounded CJ Stroud, but there are other people that this surrounds as well. And Nico Collins, I think, is one of those players. And the fact that he's coming back right now. So I'm just going to give you some numbers for him. Then I'm going to talk about why it's so important that he came back and came back quickly from this injury. He, so far this year on 53 targets, has 36 receptions for 631 yards. That's a good average amount of yards per catch. It's 17.5 with 4 touchdowns. He has been, Tank Dell has probably been the most electric receiver, but Nico Collins has been the most consistent receiver. He's that big bodied outside receiver that completely changes the way you play the game. He's the player on the Texans team that you can line up on the outside and you can throw a slant to him. You can throw a long in route to him, out route. You can put him on a go route. You can have him. He runs good enough routes where he'll get open, but he also is really good with the contested catch. So he can do all of these different things. And I think what's so important to realize is that not only is he important as far as his skill set is concerned, but it's also important because whenever you get like a weird hamstring, soft tissue type injury, the faster you're able to get back on the practice field is the better the sign. So for example, a wide receiver that I often compare Nico Collins to, but I think Nico Collins might actually end up being better, is T. Higgins of the Cincinnati Bengals. And T. Higgins just hurt his hamstring, and it's like not even close, right? So he's been out the last 2 weeks. He hasn't been able to get to practice. It never looked good for him. Nico Collins was out a week, and all of a sudden it looks like it's pretty good. This is also perfect news and perfect timing because Noah Brown, with his injury, I don't know if it's a knee or a foot, he did not practice today. So his status is up in the air. And Noah Brown has been phenomenal for the Texans. So Noah Brown came in and filled in really well and made everybody say, Nico, who? But now that Noah Brown is also hurt, I mean, like I can understand the offense withstanding not having Nico Collins. I can understand the offense withstanding not having Noah Brown. But if you don't have Nico Collins or Noah Brown, and then you're just relying on some of these other guys, maybe a Mechie to step up, which he had a couple of nice catches in the game this week. I just don't think him, Tank Dell, might be quite enough. Now you're playing the Cardinals, who you can say, oh, well, it's the 2-8 Cardinals. Yes, it is the 2-8 Cardinals, but it is the 2-8 Cardinals that are now 1-0 under Kyler Murray. Like there's a big difference between the Cardinals 3 weeks ago and the Cardinals now. The Cardinals 2 weeks ago under Clayton Tune and the Cardinals now. This is a better team. This is a team that was always scrappy. They were playing pretty well, but it was with Josh Dobbs, a guy who like got on the team at the very end of the preseason and was playing his way into it, and they were scrappy, but they're better with Kyler Murray. And they're a defense that's always played teams tough. So we look at Nico Collins, and he's 24 years old. He's still really young. He was drafted in the 3rd round. His receiving grades are through the roof this year. On PFF, he has a receiving grade of 84.4, an overall grade of 84.4, and a receiving grade of 83.2. He's also a pretty good runner of routes. And I think the other thing that's so impressive about him, on his 36 catches, he only has 2 drops. That's a 1 out of every what? Like, I guess it's simple math. It's 1 out of every 18 balls he drops. I don't know why I tried to make that harder than I thought. A lot of players, a lot of really good wide receivers that struggle with drops will drop a ball out of every 10 passes or so. And so you see that. I just think Nico Collins is the guy that you're going to see for the Houston Texans. If he can stay healthy, he's going to be the guy that every year has 60 catches, give or take 10, 1,000 to 1,200 yards, 8 to 10 touchdowns. Like, he's just that receiver that you need to be able to have. Sure, Tank Dell is a blast to watch, and him getting open and the way Slowick is finding ways to get him open is really, really impressive. And Dalton Schultz has been the exact tight end that CJ Stroud needs. But Nico Collins is that receiver that you really need. For the Lions, he's the receiver that we've been missing. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's fantastic. He's reliable. He gets open. You can scheme him open. He lines up in the slot. We got Sam Laporte at tight end, but we don't have that outside wide receiver where Jared Goff can say, you know what? This play is a mess. I'm going to throw it up to my big-bodied wide receiver, and I trust that he's going to come down with a catch for me. You need to have that guy that you can do that. You need to have that guy that you don't need to put in a special position and you need to drop weird stuff for. You have a guy that you can just put on the outside and say, run a go route, right? You have a guy that you can say, run a slant and use your big body, and you can almost post up and get a catch. Like, we can rely on you for a 10-yard catch. We can rely on you for a 40-yarder. And you never know what's coming. Every team is better when they have that guy. And Nico Collins can and has this year been that guy for CJ Stroud. He has been that guy for the Houston Texans. So it is huge that he comes back. Hopefully he comes back healthy, not only for the Houston Texans, but also, and maybe more importantly, for my fantasy football team. Because I have both Stroud and Nico Collins, because I was all in on this Texans team. So anyways, love that you guys watch this show. If you haven't yet, if you're a big Texans fan, or even if you're just a big NFL fan, like this, subscribe to the channel, and hey, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.